So to make a more advanced video, we're going to add a second set of keyframes, and this time we're going to move the camera so we can look down on the model. Now I'm sure you've been able to get your model in, and you can see that I've got one. It's spinning around and it's going to spin back the other way, so nothing really too different there. The difference is I'm only rotating 180 degrees because this model is very symmetrical, as you will see, and then go back to 0. So it's going to move a little slower. We could also make this longer, but longer videos do take longer to render. So let's see if we can do this and move the camera. So the camera's right here. I did move it a lot lower so I get this low angle looking at this model by Amalia. And what I want to do is I'm at the 90 frame mark, and I want the camera to just stay here while it's rotating. So I'm going to right click and insert keyframes, once again doing both location and rotation. And I'm going to jump to the end. And at the end I want to be looking down at the model. So I'm going to just orbit right here and line it up as best I can, and then Control-Alt-0 and bring the camera up above the model. Now I'm going to tweak it a little bit, and that's pretty easy to do if you're changing these numbers and looking at them. So the X number is pretty close to 0, so I'm going to make it exactly 0 and 0. And the rotation, same thing, 0 and 0. And this is going to put me exactly above the model. And this is almost 90, so now we are very accurately centered. I am going to need to pull up a little bit so I'm not cutting anything off. So this is a good place for that to be. Let me go ahead and replace, insert keyframes so that it remembers where to be at the end of the video. So if I scrub through this, what you'll see is that the camera is looking pretty good right here. It's all framed, and at the end it's right, but in between it goes crazy and it's way off of the frame. We want to keep that inside at all times when we're making a video like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install some fixer keyframes. So I'm going to go about halfway between these two keyframes and then reposition the camera and its angle so that our model is back inside the frame. So one way to do that is to move it farther away. So dragging on the X, just moving the camera back. And then not the Y, but then maybe bringing that up a little bit further away and just tweaking the X and the Z so that it is back inside the frame. So I'm going to insert keyframes for the location again. And then I check it again. So even between the side and that view, I'm going to split the difference again. And with this one, I may just need to bring it up some and maybe a little further away. And the closer you cut it, the more of these fixer frames you're going to need to do. So I'm just going to give myself a little bit of extra room there. It is good to do both of those. And let's see, now it's from the side, and the camera kind of backs out a little bit, and right there goes a little bit out. So I'm going to fix that again with the Z and just insert another set of keyframes. It's pretty close, so it's not going to be a dramatic movement. You want it to be just kind of smooth in there, and then from here it just barely goes up above, so I'm splitting that difference. And again, probably just move the X location a little bit and insert keyframes for that. So let's see how I did. So we've got our rotation to the end. So I like this because it's one color there, and then you realize, whoa, we've got a whole lot more to see if we look down from the top. So that makes a little 10-second video showing it from the side and all the intricate detail, and then bringing it up and looking down at it from above. So that's how you can keyframe the camera. Let me move to the side a little bit so you can see that camera and see just what happens with it. Okay, so when I press play now, it's in one place, and then the camera starts to float up and out and then looks down from above.